Good morning, viewer. Welcome to our Fossac TV. Here's the breaking and very too much optimistic news for the world neighbors. Yes, on December 5th, ultra-powerful lasers were fired on a pellet the size of a peppercorn containing a mix of deuterium and tritium, which are components of the fuel that powers the sun. The 192 lasers heated the teeny BB-sized object to temperatures hotter than the sun's center, and for a fraction of a second, a teeny star was formed. Then, just as quickly, it winked out of existence. This technologically trump was made possible by decades of efforts of thousands of researchers. The feat was achieved at the National Ignition Facility at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California. Mind you, this was not the first time that researchers have observed fusion in a laboratory, but it was the first time using this technique that the processes surpassed break-even, which means that the fusing elements released more energy than the laser supplied. This is a monumental step for science and a spectacular technical achievement. Since scientists first observed nuclear fusion back in the 1930s, it has been known that it could provide essentially limitless energy, and especially relevant in this day and age of concern about global warming and climate change. It is a carbon-free technology. When fusion becomes commercially viable, humanity's energy needs will be supplied for the foreseeable future, and as an icing on the cake, a fusion power plant cannot have an accidental radiation release in the way that happened at Chernobyl or Fukushima. Energy and safety are a great combination. Now, this recent achievement does not mean that fusion power plants are just around the corner. Well, the energy released in the processes was 50% greater than the energy supplied by the lasers. This is just part of the energy budget. When all of the equipment powering the experiment is taken into account, the energy released in the fusion processes was only about 1% of the total energy used. And there are major technical problems that still need to be solved before an energy-rich utopia is achieved. After all, a single pulse is not a power station. The processes has to be repeated again and again, and engineers need to construct a containment structure that can survive the bath of neutrons that a functional fusion generator will create. We must manage expectation. So what will the future bring? Well, that's up to us. It is going to take ongoing effort to develop fusion technology to a point that it will one day power the electric grid. If we give the fusion researchers the support they need, they will undoubtedly one day turn this recent advance into a useful and very powerful source of energy. To understand how we'll get where we want to be, we need to look to the past. The recent technical achievement was not a quick one. It was the result of half a century of effort. Scientists have devoted their careers, indeed their lives, to trying to achieve this goal. John Nichols first proposed using lasers as a way to create a fusion reactor in 1957, but the idea was a pipe dream back then. Fusion is not tomorrow's green technology. For that, we will need solar, wind and nuclear fusion, but it is the future. The amount of energy that fusion can deliver simply dwarfs the alternatives. Nuclear energy releases millions of times as much energy as other forms, and fusion is much more powerful than fission. That's why hydrogen bombs are more destructive than atomic ones. Given the pressing need to find future clean energy sources, I believe that it is imperative that fusion research be given stable and ample support. Since the mid-90s, the US government has provided an annual budget of $500 million per year, adjusted to today's dollars. While that sounds like a lot of money, it is teeny compared to the direct government subsidies for the fossil fuel industries. Behind the report, Fossac TV.